question, Harbaugh, that's an afterthought. You know, a punt is an afterthought. Now I heard Stephen A. talking about the dude could have hiked the ball, ran around for 4 or 5 seconds and threw it out of bounds. That's really not common in football.
Yeah, and sorry, I almost cursed. Skip Brady Hoke for coming out saying what he would have done in that situation. All right,
I just saw that headline before I came on. I didn't even click on that link. But no, man, I just feel like you know, as we get ready to move on, as a fan base, you know, how could you sit here questioning whether we were going to win 8 games, whether we could go 500? How could you sit here and go from that and enjoy what we've been enjoying the last 6-7 weeks, and then take that to issuing death threats to this kid, you know, who just had a bad moment?
Yeah.
So, you know, it was what it was, man. It was a lot of postseason implications that were, you know, that kind of went down the drain. Now we need a lot of stuff to happen in the division, in the conference, and I don't think that's going to happen. Pretty much.
How many losses did Ohio State have last year? 3?
None.
Oh, did they go undefeated?
That was the undefeated. Yeah. Oh no, they lost to Virginia Tech. Okay, I'm sorry, they lost to Virginia Tech. Ohio State, that's the thing that kind of ticks me off with them, man. Ohio State, for all of the discomfort that they cause and for playing to the level of competition, they win. And that's just one thing that we didn't do in this particular game, was we just didn't win. But, you know, we defeated Michigan State. We just didn't get a W for it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of over it, man.
I guess, like, that night there was one other Michigan guy there, and I was saying to him, like, if we can manage to go and win all the rest of them,
right,
that maybe the committee would look at that game and be like, well, they let it.
Right.
The whole thing. Like, they played that game to win that game.
Right.
And so, I'm...
But without getting to that championship game, you can't... I believe that's one of the rules now, or that's something that's the change is coming. If you don't get into that championship game, I think you're pretty much eliminated from the playoffs. So... You know, it could be a week in here where Ohio State gets tripped up. They've decided to go with Urban Meyer has finally joined the rest of us and put JT in there as a starter. But there could be some hiccup, you know, on their schedule. They have had a problem getting things situated and, you know, trying to use all of the weapons that they have every week. Maybe you know, and they still have to play Michigan State, so it's not over. But the 2 losses, you know, is you know, it's problematic for us right now. But before we get ready to move on, you an Adele fan, man?
Sure. I heard the new song. Like, oh man, all they do at my current employer is play either WTUE, old school rock, or Mix 107.7. And man, let me tell you, Adele's people put down some cash to get that song played on Mix 107.7. I heard that song like 4 times in 2 hours today.
The song's name is Hello. The video was hot, man. It's got my man Mac Wilder's in it.
Oh, okay.
That's a little interesting choice of a love interest. If you not dumb, you know, that's a little interesting for Adele. I just like it, man. It's adult music. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it. I just appreciate hearing something that's not really gimmick driven, and you know, I salute her on a triumphant return back to the you know, to the scene. We kind of don't have time for NFL takes right now. Let's talk this Ray Donovan, because it was a staple of the show early on. I know we're 3 or 4 weeks beyond the finale, but let's talk on this Ray Allen real quick before we get into our break. How do you think the show wrapped up, man?
Well, first off, I just want to go ahead and press rewind and mention how I had said that Terry and Abby they were going to have a moment. That was going to be a thing.
Tabby.
Oh, is that what you call?
I'm going to coin it Tabby. Okay. Terry and Abby.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, right.
The last episode was entertaining, but it was very much Ray Donovan. Like, he just wrapped all this stuff up again. Like, I thought there was going to be a lot more. Was it the Albanians?
Yeah, the Albanians.
I thought there would be a lot more with that. Like, and maybe we get some more of that next season, because they did have the moments at the end where they figured out that Mickey wasn't there, or that they connected the dots between him and one of the Albanians realized that one of the cops was Mickey's parole officer. So I mean, maybe there is some more to come from that, but I mean, it was one of those things. I enjoyed it. There were definitely some good moments in it. The whole Bridget and the teacher thing, that's a hot mess.
Yeah, that was a little creepy in my opinion.
Yeah, like I had to look up, like, she's 18 years old in real life.
Okay.
Because I was watching, I'm like, she just looks so young to me.
Yeah, she has that baby face.
Yeah, like, she looks really young. I think she's supposed to be 17, about to be 18 on the show.
Right.
And so, yeah, I just thought that was a whole thing in itself for the teacher to have been so adamant about not wanting anything to happen with them, spending all this time with her and whatnot. So, I mean, it was an entertaining watch, and that's what the show is, right? Like, it's entertainment, regardless of if we can necessarily pinpoint why it's entertainment. But it's entertaining.
Where do I start? I think the show might not like it, but I think Ray does better when there is some gunplay.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when there is some shooting or some killing. I felt like the Finney situation wrapped up with not as much teeth as I was expecting, and I'm really not sure that Ian McShane, I'm not really sure that they really utilized his colder side as much as it could have been used. And I might have one episode that I need to go back and tune in on, but I just felt like he convinced Paige, Katie Holmes, to roll on his way.
Yeah.
And they didn't do nothing after that.
Right.
And there was really, I don't know if that's coming back next year or whatever. The one thing that confuses me, and I hate when they do that in programs, but how did Finney know that Paige slept with Ray? I mean, how did everybody just know?
Fatherly intuition.
Come on. I just hate when TV, it's like, you know, in the mob movies, when somebody puts a hit out and the opposing family just knows exactly who put the hit out. And like my man on The Sopranos, that had the heavy set wife, I can't even think of his name, Johnny something. But just in the mob movies, how things happen, and the opposing mob boss knows specifically Carlito's way when they were on the boat, you know, and the father got killed, and they just knew there was nothing else. But that one was a little obvious because he was sent to go get the father. But I'm just saying,
I just remembered all you talking about from The Sopranos. Like, I had to dig back in the files.
Right.
I can't remember what that guy's name was either.
Johnny something. Tremone.
Like, and I see him.
Right.
I see him.
With the cigarette and everything. But everything that went on, he just knew who did what, who was at the meeting. And I just hate when they do that in the movies. But anyway, I don't want to get totally off topic. It was okay, man. they rapped some stuff. They simplified a few things. You know, Pooch Hall had a couple of, his role was bigger this year. What's his name kind of came out of his shell. Him and his wife, Bunch. It was a decent season. I don't want to go too much into that. We're going to take this first break, man, and then we're going to jump into this back to the NBA action, full bore. Be back in just a sec.
Going for two, your number one source for fantasy sports with top-notch fantasy sports advice, an exclusive community forum, and some of the best and most knowledgeable writers in fantasy sports. Visit today at going42.com. That's going2.com. Going for Two features NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, and more. And they also provide the best advice for your FanDuel, DraftKings, or daily fantasy sports site. Sign up for the Going for Two newsletter and get updates immediately through your email. And while you're on the site, make sure you check out the exclusive section, Why I Hate. That's going42.com, GOINGFOR2. Going42.com. Go visit and get the inside scoop of everything fantasy sports.
All right, and we're back. The Pay Me No Mind Show. This is your man Wood. Big ups to One Take Podcast Nation. You can find the shows for all Agree to Disagree, goingfor2.com's press coverage. You can find all of that at onetakepodcast.com. Hey, I appreciate anybody that's pressing play and checking us out. I'm going to turn it over to you, man. I'm going to pass the rock up. We can do this. We were going to run with shoot around, but I think that might be taken. So we're going to go with the starting five before we get into our rundown of various NBA topics. What you got, man?
Yeah, so this is just as we grow and develop the Hoops and Hops brand, if you will. Something I kind of thought about so that we could just get some freestyle off of Wood here and see how he feels about some things that caught my attention. Some of them will be light and humorous, and some of them will be maybe somewhat important, but just a good way to kind of get the basketball rolling, if you will. First one that I came across, Russell Westbrook admits that he has never shaved a day in his life. Your thoughts?
Man, that's...
He's 27 years old, by the way.
Damn. That can't be true, man. Maybe he didn't qualify that with a razor, but I would imagine that if he goes to do some a photo shoot or a commercial, that they have a barber there that is going to at least knock off those loose hairs and get him straightened out. I can't believe that, man.
I don't know. So these are kind of going to be rapid fire, so we're just going to keep pushing through them. Roy Hibbert claims that he is going to be the 7-2 black Bogut for the Lakers this year.
That's a good thing. I mean, is that a upgrade? I mean, why not just be like the 2012 Roy Hibbert?
No.
I'm going to go be the guy. I'm going to go be the center that was sat down in the finals. I'm going to strive to be him.
Yep.
Just revert back to 2012 Roy Hibbert. Yeah,
because now look, I like Andrew Bogut more than the next guy, but league's going small. Topic number 3, small forward, if you will.
Right.
Lil B puts the curse back on James Harden for posting a pic of his cooking celebration. Your thoughts?
Man, I've never heard Lil B's song.
Good for you.
Right. I did hear an interview of Ninth Wonder talking about a song that he has with Lil B and Rhapsody, I believe, and he was just saying that Lil B has bars, and artists nowadays make a decision to just make songs, but he said he got it right, that him and Rhapsody knew that he could really rap, and if James Harden is fooling around with Lil B in any capacity, then it doesn't make any difference that they brought what's his name to town, Ty Lawson to town for next to nothing.
Yeah, I think that whole thing is ridiculous.